Just got back from the auto parts store. I grabbed this Velcro gasket set for the timing chain cover right here. So that's the gasket from Velcro. Yeah, we got them both laid out so you guys can see the difference. Alright, so that's the timing chain cover gasket from Velcro, and that's the one from the eBay Big 3 gasket set I bought. Alright, so you can clearly tell one difference already. Look how this is smushed in. Even when you flatten out the top, it seems this, yeah, this one's nice and flared out. So if you line this one up with that one, see how the holes go off center as it goes down. And then when you try to put this one on, it's all caved in and you gotta try to stretch it, put it on there. Let's see if this one just lays on there flat. Oh yeah, pretty much matches right up. The other one looked like crap. Another thing from yesterday or last night, the timing chain cover. Now, yeah, when I took the back plate off of here, the oil pump on the outer pump ring had a lot of gouging, and on the inside of this aluminum cover also had gouging in there. So I have this other engine on one of my earlier videos that I had pulled out of a Park Avenue. It's a front wheel drive one. I think the timing chain cover is exactly the same. I think the only difference is this mount on piece for the oil filter. But other than that, I think the cover is the same. So I'm gonna pull this cover off and hopefully, yeah, this cover's gonna work out for me. The only sucky thing is I'm gonna have to re-clean and repaint. I got this one opened up and I'm inspecting the oil pump. And I have to say there's a lot less scoring on the inside of this timing chain cover from where the oil pump lies than the one that came off of my engine. You can see on there, there is scoring on this outer ring, which that's not that bad compared to the one that's in my timing chain cover. So, I mean, this one's starting to look like it is getting to the point where it's about to wear like mine. But it still looks like it's in just a bit better condition. Yeah, I think somebody had that timing cover off already. I think they actually put this in upside down when they put it back, even though there's no upside down or right side up. But I think, you know, once you have something rotating in the same way, you want to put it back in the same way that it came out. If you're reusing an old part, you can see this line going around the ring here, and if you flip it around, you do not see that line. Now on mine, there's a line on both sides, so that's kind of telling me somebody might have flipped it upside down. Maybe they had it apart, they flipped it over, put it back together like that. Maybe that's why it looks a little worse. Also, my engine has about, I don't know, probably 20 or 30,000 more than this engine that I got here on the floor that I took this off of. I don't know, who knows? I mean, it's theory crafting at this point. I really don't know. But whatever, let's get this shit together. All right, so we got this all torqued down. The torque was 15 foot-pounds and an additional 40 degrees. So, alrighty, got that all done. Let's get this water pump on. Water pump is on. Okay, so it's supposed to be torqued down at 132 inch-pounds with an additional 80 degrees if I ain't mistaken. But I winged it and just did it by hand, so should be good. Time to put this plastic piece on that covers the crank sensor. Plastic thing that covers the crank sensor on. We got some lacquer thinner on this rag here, and we're cleaning up the maintenance surfaces because we're about to drop in the LIM. Lower intake manifold. I put a little thin coat of RTV all over these lower intake manifold gaskets. So yeah, I hope that helps them seal up a little bit better. Thanks, honey, for being the camera lady. These on. We got baby cakes over here cleaning up the last few bolts, and we're gonna bolt this upper intake down to 132 inch-pounds, but we're gonna use the foot-pound wrench, and the conversion says it's 11 foot-pounds, so that's what we're gonna go with. Got the professional over here. This lower intake manifold we're installing We have to do it in a torque sequence. So we got the book here, and we're gonna get down with it. All right, and that's how we torque down the ink. Oh. Ah. What are you running off to? Huh? How come when the camera's on you get all weird? Woo! All right, we got that upper intake manifold on. So the only torque specs for the upper intake that was in that book that I seen was the two side bolts that go in sideways right here, this one and that one, and it was at 132 inch-pounds, which is 11 foot-pounds, so that's what we torqued them at. These ones I just ran down by hand. I'm pretty sure there was no spec on these littler ones going around, so yeah. All right, so now we're gonna put on the thermostat housing on and install the thermostat. And we're gonna slap on the valve covers. Even though that time and chain cover was shit, this thing did come with a large amount of gaskets. So one of these bags, here it is. Yeah, this one we got a new thermostat gasket O-ring. So I'm having trouble finding the thermostat that I took out, the original one that was in there. Maybe I should buy a new one, but I really don't want to. I'd rather just stick that old one in there, because I'm pretty sure it was working just fine before I took it out. So I don't know what I did with it. I have no damn clue. All right, found that thermostat. That thing installed. These two top bolts were torqued down to 20 foot-pounds. That's what the book said. I'm gonna grab those valve covers and we'll get them on there. All right, so we're gonna do a quick oiling before we actually put these valve covers on. Get everything nice and lubed up. This engine's starting to look complete again. Thank God. Oh yeah, she's looking good now. I got my custom valve cover and upper intake job. I think it's looking quite nice. So I got to slap a couple more things on here, some brackets, and harmonic balancer, and yeah, quite a few other things. So I'm gonna get to that, and yeah, I'm gonna try to get this engine about as much completed as I can right now. Alrighty, so we're down to the last part that I had ordered from Intense Racing. It is a oil pressure kit, which is supposed to increase your oil pressure. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap this in. And it gets installed right here in the little hole there. I was a little curious, so I wanted to know what the difference was from my oil pressure spring and the Intense Racing oil pressure spring. So I got them both laid out here, and this is the one that came out of my engine, and this is the one I got from Intense Racing. So I matched them up side by side, and one just seems to be slightly taller than the other. So I take the caps off, and I match the springs up, and they look pretty much equal. So what I found the difference is this little washer that they stick in the cap to just make the spring stick down a little further. So I guess that's what gives you your increased oil pressure. I mean, I could have very well just stretched the spring out that I have a little more, or put my own little washer in there. But either way, I got a brand new spring. This one looked a little warped when I was looking at it, just a tad bit. So yeah, I got a brand new spring and a new cap and a new gasket. I'm definitely tired. I got a little ahead of myself. That gasket kit that I got gives you an array of O-rings, which I forgot to put 2 O-rings into the engine. So I got the intake off again. Got it sitting over there on the chair, and I forgot to put in my coolant O-rings. So I had to pull the intake back off, which really sucks because You know, I had already torqued it down, put Loctite on all the bolts, and then I had to pull it back off again. So back at it. She's looking pretty good. Damn good, I would say. Semi-professional job. Oh yeah. All right, till the next one. Peace and love, and live your dream.